Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you are tuned into the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS Sports. Martin, we were talking a little bit of women's basketball before we went to that break, and the Mountain Lions started it off with a big win at home to begin the conference season, and then they answered the very next night with a blowout win against Adams State. They won that game 69-45, and we were talking about Abby Kirchhoff before the break and her dominant performance in that first game. In the second game, however, not quite as dominant, but not
I think
needed.
She just wanted to spread the wealth a little bit, let other people get in there. I mean, obviously, it's safe to say that, yes, it was a blowout, so, let's let the other players do what they do. And I'm sure the coach was aware of that. He probably gave her some minutes, on the bench just to I wasn't there. You were there, but I would assume that in a win like that, he probably wants to let his star player get some breathing time, and then let the other players show what they can do. So, and obviously, you have 4 players in double figures, so that's spreading the wealth a little bit.
Yeah, Coach Corey Laster definitely knows what he's doing there, because Kirchhoff wasn't exactly needed. That dominant performance wasn't needed to get that victory, and like you said, Abby Kirchhoff just wanted to share the love a little bit. It was the 1st of December. It's the Christmas season. She just wanted to share some points. So she did that. She allowed quite a few other players to get into the mix. But Martin, I gotta stress something before we move forward with that game. Because I talked to head coach Corey Laster before Saturday's game. And I was discussing with him what he thought were the keys to victory. Mm-hmm. The night before, the Mountain Lions shot over 57% from downtown. Coach Corey Laster said, I don't think the team is going to be able to average that kind of a stat.
Yeah, you don't see that average very often.
Right. And so what he said is, tonight, what we need to do is establish the post presence. He said, Sam Patterson is one of the better players we have on our team. Last night, she didn't quite live up to the potential that she has. We didn't get her involved as much. We need to get her involved a little bit more. We need to get involved a little bit more. Kelly Kruger, another dominating post player. And he said we need to take better shots. A better shot selection. So you know what the team did, Martin? The team went out there and they shot a better percent from the field. They shot 50% in that game from the field,
that's pretty good.
That's good.
That's good. That's good.
Well,
anytime you can get 50%.
Right. Yeah. Half of your shots are going in.
Yeah.
And it's definitely better than the 45% they shot the night before. So they listened to Coach Laster. And you know what else they did? They started feeding inside. And you know what happened as a result, Martin? We had Sam Patterson with a team high of 12 points, game high of 6 rebounds. We had Kelly Kruger with 10 points, 5 rebounds. The two of them combined for over 20 points and over 10 rebounds. Yeah. That's something that didn't happen in the first game. And you know what happened? The Mountain Lions dominated the game. Coach Laster had a game plan. The players went out there, perfected it, and they dominated.
And I think that also falls back to, we had him on last week, and you got the sense that, he said, I go into the library, I study a lot of tape, I look at stuff. And the thing is, he's very studious. So he probably knew, Adams State inside and out. He knew what their weaknesses were, and he thought, believe me, he didn't just say, we're just going to go inside this time. He probably thought, hey, this isn't a weakness that we can exploit.
Absolutely.
With Adams State, and at the same time, we need to work on our post,
right?
Our post game. So
absolutely,
I think that he kind of, he's very studious. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, he does.
And I got a really good sense of that when he came in. He's he could talk about pretty much anything, but I think that's what, and I commend him for doing that, for understanding what the team is, and then knowing what he needs to do with his own team, and then matching that.
I thought it was a phenomenal job of game planning. But it's one thing to create the game plan and another thing to execute the game plan. Yeah. And that's why you got to give credit to both sides of the team. The coaching staff for creating a masterful game plan, and then to the team for executing that game plan. There was 2 other factors that went into that game plan as well that Coach Laster stressed. He said we've got to take care of the ball and we have to out-rebound the Grizzlies. That's what he told me before the game. The Mountain Lions won both of those categories. They out-rebounded the Grizzlies and they had less turnovers than the Grizzlies. When you talk about a game plan being executed, watching the game, I could not have imagined that game plan being executed to more perfection.
Yeah.
They did a masterful job. And that's why this team is so good. Because not only do they have the talent to play well, they're intelligent enough they have a high enough basketball IQ to know and trust in their coach. And say, okay, well, coach said, last night we shot 57%. Any other team might have said, no, I want to shoot the ball from 3 because we made them. But they didn't. And they won because they followed the tutelage of their coach.
Yeah, and he realizes that the good teams are well balanced and
right.
that you need to be able to do, go inside and shoot efficiently from the outside.
Absolutely.
And I know he would probably agree with me. He knows it better than I am, but I've heard, over and over that rebounding is about attitude.
It's about effort.
Yeah, so I think he probably stressed that as something that they need to improve on and get better at, and obviously they responded. So, hats off to him. He obviously knows what he's doing. So, good job to Coach Laster.
Yeah, and the team. I mean, fantastic job. They did a great job.
Yeah, let's not give him all the credit. Yeah. The players go out there and they have to execute as well. So
right, because they could have easily not listened to him and they could have easily not won. But they listened to him and they won. And that's what it's all about, is getting those wins.
And I think he wants to make sure everybody's getting involved and they're not just relying on Abby Kirkhoff to save the day. They want a well-balanced team. And although she definitely earned her accolades for the play that she's had recently, so that's good.
Absolutely. And who else did a great job of following that game plan was Sam Patterson, who we talked about. Head coach mentioned Sam before the game explicitly and said, we got to get her more involved. And as a result, she has the most points on the team, most rebounds in the game, 12.6 rebounds. And I went ahead and caught up with Sam after the game to get her thoughts on the big win against Adams State, being 2-0 in the conference. And there was a lot of music, a lot of excitement in the air. So I'm hoping this interview sounds as well as it did live. We're going to go ahead and jump to that right now, though, and get Sam Patterson's thought after the big win against Adams State. Thanks, Josh. I'm joined right now by Sam Patterson. Sam, you had 12.6 rebounds, shot 3 for 6 from the field, and perfect 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Can you give us your thoughts on tonight's game?
Show what I have and be out there for the team, and I knew this was an important game for everybody, so I prove everybody out there that can do this and help the team win.
And how does it feel now to be 2-0 at home, 2-0 in the conference, and now 4-1 overall in the season? How does that feel to start the season this well?
It feels really great. It feels wonderful, to be honest with you. I couldn't imagine anything any better.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. Congratulations on the win. Well, that was Sam Patterson after the game. Like I said, a little bit of technical difficulties there, but that just shows you we're the official source here. I'm getting the interviews with Sam Patterson.
Speaking of technical, did somebody get a technical on Saturday that wasn't even playing in the game?
I don't know that I really want to go into that too much, but yeah, your boy MJ got a bit of a technical at the game.
I don't even know how that's possible, but
let's just say I'm really involved, all right? Even the best of us have an error at time or two. And
thank God that wasn't a close game, because I can imagine our sports information director, Jared Verner, coming up to you and giving you a little talking to for that.
Yeah, well, I got to thank head coach Corey Laster and the ladies for dominating that game, because if
they bailed you out, man.
Well, if they wouldn't have won by 24 points, then that one technical I had may have really cost them.
At least you go down the record books.
Well, MJ's in the record book for a point somewhere here on the basketball team. So we'll make sure that never happens again. That'll be my last technical of my career, I assure you of that. And the girls with a big win, a fantastic job of pulling it out. And you heard Sam Patterson there at the end. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But Sam Patterson very excited about being 2-0 in the conference. She said, she wouldn't have imagined starting the season any better than they have. They've done a great job. And as we've said, Martin, undefeated right now at home, undefeated in the conference. 4-1 on the season. Their only loss was to West Texas A&M, which is a very good team. In fact, FYI, West Texas A&M just beat CSU Pueblo in the football tournament this past weekend. My sister goes to CSU Pueblo, so I try to keep up on that. And
they're a very good football program.
Well, they are, but our football team is undefeated, as you know. So
at least they can't even hold water to the UCCS football.
We're undefeated. We've never lost. I mean, come on. But
I don't even know if that was a good analogy. Hold water. That's the big thing. People mess these analogies up all the time. So
yeah, like Martin.
I occasionally do.
Yeah, occasionally, he says.
Especially in the mornings.
Oftentimes, I say. But Martin, 2 big games on the horizon as UCCS will play host to Regis and to Metro. You made mention of this already, but just to reiterate, Metro right now is 2-4 overall, 0-1 in the RMAC. They're going to play here at UCCS on Friday night, and then the Mountain Lions will host Regis on Saturday night. Regis comes in to this weekend's game 2-3 overall, 1-0 in the RMAC. Both games with a tip-off time of 5:30. But Martin, I think you know what segment we have to get to at least at some point in the show.
Yes.
What would that be?
The Shining Lion.
Shining Lion.
That's right, the Shining Lion.
Well, I mean, given the stellar play of one Abby Kirchhoff from this weekend, I'm not so sure how anybody else could be the Shining Lion. Did you know that Abby Kirchhoff is the RMAC Defensive Player of the Week, Martin?
She's got defensive skills.
I take great pride when any of the girls' teams become the Player of the Week. You know why? Because I nominate them for that.
That's awesome.
I did that, yeah. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I nominated her for Defensive Player of the Week because against Fort Lewis on Friday night, she had game highs and team highs of 7 total rebounds, 6 of which were defensive rebounds, and 6 steals. And, oh, by the way, she scored 25 points.
Yeah, I think it's well-deserved against a quality opponent. So
yeah, defending RMAC champion. So, I mean, that was a very stellar performance. And the next night, she wasn't as instrumental to the Mountain Lions win, but she didn't need to be. That's the thing. If the Mountain Lions had lost that game and she didn't do much, then we could say, well, she should have stepped up. But they didn't need her to. And therefore, 2 big wins in the conference and the stellar play against Fort Lewis, that's going to earn Abby Kirchhoff the Shining Lion accolade. That's one of the most prestigious awards you could possibly win.
I know. So, I think if we had to ask her which was more important to her.
The RMAC Defensive Player of the Week?
Or the Shining Lion Award. Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Yeah. Well, Abby Kirchhoff is definitely an all-star player. She last season she scored 12 points per game, which lands her second all-time in school history for a freshman season at UCCS. So phenomenal job. You can tell from the onset she was going to be something special.
Yeah, there's going to be a few more records broken, I think, by the time she's done.
There could be. The question really is going to be, is it going to be defensive or is it going to be offensive? Because here she's the defensive player of the week, but very easily capable of being offensive player of the week. I mean, she's got the potential. But Abby Kirchhoff, a star player, she's from Barrington, Illinois. So
Illinois, yes.
Yeah. So quite away from home. But Abby Kirkhoff, a star player, before she came to UCCS, she was an all-star at Barrington High School, and we're very happy to have her here on the UCCS Mountain Lion team. She helped UCCS last season get to the semifinal game of the 2012 RMAC Shootout. So Abby Kirkhoff, a star player, and she is our Shining Lion of the week. And depending on how things go here on the Lion's Den and in the worldwide sports world, yeah, she could...
Worldwide...
The wide world of sports.
There you go.
Here at UCCS?
Yes.
That sounds a little better. She could be the Shining Lion more than once. She's got the potential.
Yeah, well, not a lot of competition from other sports. So.
I think she's fortunate to play in this winter season where, she could be the Shining Lion more than once.
True.
I mean, that's we got to start printing out certificates so they can start putting them on their fridge or something.
Yeah.
Shining Lion. I mean, that's
I know.
Big time.
Little, give her a gold star or something.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for it,
too.
So
we'll print them out.
We should.
We'll sign them.
Yeah, give her an autograph.
Yeah.
Well, we should be getting her autograph. If she's the Shining Lion.
we'll sign the certificate.
I mean, we're
for
nothing.
Her. With a little gold seal on it.
I guess a basketball player would want an autograph by MJ.
Yeah, why not?
They might.
Of course.
They might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can always, they're not lying when they say, hey, I got an autograph from...
Lion.
That's right.
Lion's Den. I get you. That was a good one, Martin. Josh, a joke. Martin, we got to jump to men's basketball
now.
We've covered women's basketball pretty extensively, with good reason, because they do deserve it. They've done great. The men's basketball team, they have got to be the absolute best winless team in the nation. That's my official thought on the men's basketball team. The absolute best winless team in the nation. They have had some very close games, Martin. This weekend alone, I mean, they lost 2 extremely close games. They lost both games by a margin of 2 points and 3 points. I mean, 1 possession game each game.
And that's my thought, is that the team is coming along. Obviously, the coach is trying to teach them.
They definitely are.
And they're really close to pulling out some victories. I mean, I really got the sense when we had Coach on that he was stressing the fundamentals. I keep saying it over and over, but I think you got to give him some room to work.
Boom shakalaka.
What is that?
I don't know. Got a text.
Okay, what's the text?
It just said boom shakalaka.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a.
But the men's basketball team is on the right track, Martin, and they deserve a boom shakalaka too, because they've lost against some high quality opponents. It's not like they're losing to some scrubs out there. They're losing to some nationally ranked teams. They're losing to some of the tougher teams in the RMAC. They're playing very well right now, and if we could just get them to play an entire 40-minute game, I think they could give anybody a run for their money. I think the problem comes in, and we could talk to Jeff Culver about this, the head coach. He's made mention that there are times where the Mountain Lions have some lapses. Typically, it's in the second half. The Mountain Lions start off good in the first half, and then the second half, they have a few lulls and slows them down.
Because in several of these games, they've actually led at halftime.
Right. Absolutely. And even against Adams State this past weekend, that was the second game, they were trailing by a lot in the first half. And they made a run at the end of the first half. So it was a bit flopped and where...
Flip-flop.
Yeah, a little flip-flopped and where they were slowed down. But they caught up at the end of the first half and took the lead into the second half. And now that was one of the most exciting games I've been a part of. The Mountain Lions did a great job of getting back into that game, and it was a game that really emphasized the youth of the team. And I say that both positively and negatively. And here's why. The freshmen had stellar play in that game. The Mountain Lions were led by Derek White, who had a very good game. They were led by Alex Welsh, who had also a very good game, both freshmen, and they both played out of their minds at times. So good. Derek White knocked down 2 extremely clutch free throws at the end of that game, which put the Mountain Lions ahead. And then with 1.3 seconds on the clock, Adams State had the ball down by a point, and there was a shot fake, and Derek White went for it. And he went up, good intentions. He wanted to block the ball, wanted to contest the shot, but he fouled the shooter with 1.3 seconds left on the clock and put Adams State on the line. Down by 1 with a chance to take the lead. And 3 clutch free throws by the shooter.
Ooh.
And the Mountain Lions lost by 2.
Yeah.
And that was a game that really emphasized...
And that's tough because, I mean,
He played great.
Give credit, and also give credit to the guy to make free throws.
Well, because he came in as a 50% free throw shooter.
Ouch.
So you look at those odds, and I mean, you never want to put somebody at the line in that situation to win the game.
But they thought maybe they
right, right, a 50% shooter. You might take your chances with that, but a lot of youth shown in that game, both. Again, positively and negatively.
You can't foul.
Well, that was a big
on a perimeter shot like
again,
that.
I think lesson learned. I would be surprised to ever see Derek White go up for that block with 1 second left on the clock again.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's a tough shot. That's a 30% shot, that 3-point shot. So that's 30%. That's a better figure than the 50% even from the free throw line.
You're putting the guy at the line,
right? But they played so good to get themselves in position to get that win, just couldn't pull it out. And I heard some of the fans outside of the game saying this Mountain Lion team is young. They need to learn how to win.
Yeah.
It's not winning isn't something that you just know how to do. You got to know how to close those games out. You got to know how to play intelligently at the end of the game. That comes with experience. And this Mountain Lion team, there's been a lot of growing pains thus far, but they got to learn how to win, and then they're going to start winning. That's my thought, is once they learn how to pull off a big win like that, they're going to start doing it a lot more because the talent is there. Martin, in that first game, they played very well. Alex Welsh, the freshman, had a double-double in that
impressive.
game. That was
16 points, 13 rebounds.
Very impressive game. And this Mountain Lion team has a lot of talent, and I think you get them in the right mindset, get them a win, and it'll get contagious. That's what I think.
Yeah, and I feel like we're really close to their first win. In fact, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that they're going to pull out a win in their next game.
Well, let's see what head coach Jeff Culver thinks about this situation. I caught up with him after the heartbreaking loss against Adams State on Saturday night to get his thoughts on the current situation, and let's jump to that right now. Here's head coach Jeff Culver.
All right, we're joined right now by head coach Jeff Culver. Coach Culver, can you talk a little bit about your thoughts for that game? It was a close game. You lost by 2. It came right down to the wire. Can you give us your thoughts on that matchup tonight?
Well, it's another night like last night that we're kicking ourselves thinking about all the things throughout the 40 minutes of basketball that we can improve upon to be able to not be in that situation with the game on the line at the end of the ball game. So made a lot of mistakes tonight, had a big doldrum in the first half on the offensive end that buried us, and the guys fought back, were very resilient, and definitely a tough loss for us tonight.
Well, on the bright side of things, though, you talked about getting the front line involved a little bit more. And I would imagine you got to be pleased with the play of some of the key players there. Alex Welsh, Kyle Clark had a big game tonight. Jordan Carter had a good appearance. How do you feel about the progress of that front line?
I think they're doing very well. It's a young group. Even our returners, with the new things that we're giving them on both ends of the floor, everyone's freshmen out there just about with the learning curves and what we're trying to do this year, different from the past. So I think they've done a great job. Kyle had a great weekend, like you mentioned. Alex Welsh, another great weekend. Nolan's been very solid. Jordan's been sick this weekend, but I thought gave us much better minutes tonight and was solid. So good production overall from our front line.
And one last question. You talked about the youth of the team. Now, that came into play quite a bit tonight. There was a couple good runs where the fresh legs really helped the Mountain Lions get out and take the lead, but then at the end, a little bit of some mental lapses. Can you talk a little bit about that youth and a little bit more about that learning curve that might continue on throughout this season?
Well, I hope it doesn't continue on too long. We need our freshmen to become sophomores, and our sophomores to become juniors, and we're learning a lot about ourselves. We're getting better every day, and we're competing very well. Our defense is holding us in games as our offense is continuing to improve. Got to get the offense clicking a lot better. We're turning the ball over in situations where we shouldn't, in crucial situations, in end-of-game situations. And we're having some runs, up to this point it's been second half where we'll get a little lull offensively. We've been trying to address that. Tonight it was the first half. That sort of caught us by surprise, and it was a long run. So you're right, the youth on this team is doing a good job working through some of this, and we have to understand that not only is it about playing harder, it's about playing smarter. And I think that we have to make better decisions collectively, individually, and we'll be able to address this on film and really learn from it and have a great week of preparation leading into another homestand next weekend, and hopefully we can get over the hump then.
Well, you mentioned the homestand next weekend against Regis and Metro. What are the biggest adjustments you'd like to see the team make between this weekend and next weekend?
Well, we need to limit the turnovers. We need to be better, more efficient on the offensive end. Metro State's a team that really prides themselves on their defense, on turning you over, pressuring the ball. They run some different traps on you. So we really have to do a much better job offensively with our execution. We need to contain the dribble drive a little bit more. We got beat quite a bit off the dribble tonight. That hurt us. Metro has 3, in essence, point guards that can really beat you with the dribble, and we got to do a good job of addressing that this week. So, a lot of things to work on. The whole season is going to be like that for us, and we just hope that we can clean some of these things up little by little to where we're going to become much more of a polished product.
What's looking better every game, Coach? We wish you the best of luck next weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And that was head coach Jeff Culver talking about the team's worries so far through the first part of the season, but doing a great job of getting on to the right page. And Martin, I expect that team to start gelling sooner than later, and this weekend is a good chance to turn things around as they're going to host Metro State and Regis. The game against Metro State will tip off on Friday night at 7:30 p.m. and then followed by the game against Regis on Saturday night. So, Martin, before we go, what do we do?
What to watch for.
Well, that's what to watch for right there, and what to watch for tonight, Martin. CEC made the volleyball playoffs and the intramurals. That's my team.
Okay.
Yeah, FYI, Darius Partner no longer a part of the team. Apparently, Jeff Culver listens to the show, which we are grateful for, but found out that Darius was part of our volleyball team, and now Darius is no longer part of that volleyball team.
Yeah, I think basketball probably is a little more of a priority, especially,
it should
that's
be.
why he's here.
That's why he's here.
And to get an education.
Right, and that education thing. So
but playing on your volleyball team, no.
That's right. But I'm going to be in the playoffs tonight, Martin. I'm going in. We're taking home the title.
All right.
So that's
this
what
is
to watch
the
for.
Final match.
And
okay.
what to watch for: Broncos versus Raiders Thursday night. That's going to be a big game. And then, of course, this weekend, UCCS men's basketball and women's basketball all weekend long, tipping off at 5:30 with the women's games, followed by the men's right after. So until next time, go Mountain Lions!